Walk into the mirror, let go. Take a good look at yourself. You've been through fire and rain and survived. You got a story to tell, yeah. Deep in your soul and it burns like a fire. So come, let's have a seat, get comfortable and talk to me on the Reflection Show. The Reflection Show. You look in the mirror, what you get is what you see on the Reflection Show. The Reflection Show. The Reflection Show.
Welcome back to the Reflection Show. My name is Ramces. You never go to the mirror scripted, but you always go unscripted. And this interview that I'm bringing, whether you're watching on your phone, whether you're watching in your living room, wherever you're watching this interview, I want you to pay very close attention because I got a dear friend of mine from TV and film, producing, nonprofit. He is a celebrity. I call him the middleman that stands on business. The one and only Pierre Johnson. What's up, Pierre?
I'm blessed, man. I need you every morning, man. And before I walk out the house, I need you right there. I need you right there.
You know, it's crazy. My wife said, yo, you just wake up on 10.
Hey, man, listen, I love it.
Listen, I
love it.
on it. But you know, when you love life,
absolutely,
when you're grateful for life,
absolutely,
and when you're confident in who you are, and no one can strip that from you, this is what you just did.
man, they're full of joy.
They're full of joy.
Full of joy.
But I am blessed to be sitting next to the man, the middleman in the entertainment industry that stands on business consistently. Your faith, your love for your family,
Thank you.
but also the love for who you are as a whole. So let's talk about, like, how did you even tap into the TV and film industry?
Oh, wow. That goes back to Washington, D.C. First off, thank you for having me.
No problem, no
Beautiful
problem.
show, beautiful content, beautiful platform you've allowed for us to reflect.
Thank you, thank you,
And
thank you.
thank you for allowing me to reflect.
You know what? It's always, we never have the chance
Absolutely.
to sit back and really think about how far we've come,
Yeah,
right? We're
Yeah.
so busy building, man, I'm building this empire.
absolutely.
Man, I'm building the next biggest thing. But we never stop to say, have I even stopped to praise
look. Absolutely.
the small
100%.
success, right? My favorite Bible verse, I repeatedly, Zechariah 4:11,
Okay.
where it says that that do not despise small beginnings, for the
Absolutely.
Lord find joy in it.
Yes.
And I think about it as children, right? It's just like, you know, we're trying to grow up fast, and we're not appreciative of the season that we're crawling and walking.
100%.
You feel me?
Yep.
So when you sit back and you say that, it's a powerful statement because people really don't stop.
To think. Yeah. And I am going to answer your question, but along my path, it was times where I was afraid to look back, because if I look back or reflect on what I was actually doing, then I would have stopped. So I had to ignore what I was actually doing because fear, or I'd never seen it before, or nobody around me has ever done it before. And if I would have paid attention to myself in that moment, then I wouldn't have kept going.
Pierre, isn't that interesting? That words that we cannot see
Yep.
are the very thing that
That-
pushes us away from the things that we should be doing.
100%.
Because
100%.
fear, that's a word.
Yep.
We feel it, but we don't even see
We
it.
don't even see it.
How are we so
Yeah.
afraid of things that we don't see?
Yeah, because the invisible is really than the visible. So if we aren't able to tap in the invisible and understand that it's in here, then outside will never work anyway. So that's the key to it for me that I'm learning. So and that's how I got into television and film. To go back to your question before we, I don't want to
diving in.
I don't want to hijack.
We were diving in already.
Yeah, I don't want to hijack, but I was at a local Michelle Wright. Shout out to Michelle Wright, a local host in Washington, D.C. She's on satellite radio, but she's been on the radio for a long time, a very popular voice in D.C. And she was doing a TV show called MHZ's Urban. And they were just highlighting local talent. And I got with Michelle, and Michelle just let me come to the show all the time. And from there, I ended up going to New York, and I had a talent agent just for modeling. So I was slowly but surely being introduced into the industry, but Michelle was the one that actually gave me like the introduction into the entertainment industry.
Come on, shout out to Michelle. Let's
shout
stop
out
it
to
up for
Michelle.
Michelle.
Listen,
Shout out to
Shout
Michelle.
out to
Come
Michelle.
on.
So Michelle Wright, she was the one that allowed me to come every week, be a part of her show. And like I said, from there I went into modeling. And I was just in DC, and it was like I'm doing everything I want to do. There's no challenges here. I had my daughter, I had my family. There's no challenges. And I was like, I just need to go. And I came to LA with a friend of mine. He was actually coming out here to do tags. He was doing something with cars, and he was coming out here to get tags. And he was coming back selling, like however he was doing it. I wasn't a part of the hustle, but he was just like, I need somebody to go with me.
Wow.
And I came with him. And when I came out here, I'm like, oh, this California? Like, because I wasn't gonna come. So that was the only reason that I came to California. In addition to a cousin Anwar McQueen, like he was the first person in my neighborhood that went from DC to California, or
That's
just left the area.
That's interesting you say that, because most people are afraid when their friends are telling them come to an environment to be uncomfortable.
Yep.
Right? Because it's in the uncomfortable we discover what's
comfort.
going to give us the comfortability of life.
100%.
Right?
Yep. So that was two things. Anwar McQueen coming in high school. He was a star basketball player. They came to the Boys and Girls Club, set everybody down, and the Channel 4 News were recording Anwar because he just hit like a 60-foot game winner the night before, something crazy. He had the city. It was just crazy. And they set everybody down and made he and I play one-on-one basketball. And they announced him going to California. And I was like, oh, so that was a little tag that I've written subconsciously, but I didn't know, I didn't pay attention to it.
Right.
So when I came out here for the tags, it was like, oh. And I went back to DC and I gave myself a date of June 20th, 2004 that I'm leaving to go to California. And I told everybody at home I had an agent. Didn't have anything except for knowing that I was leaving. And it was like 2 months later, had one of the craziest exit parties, but I've been out here for 20 years since then.
20 years.
20 years.
All because some tags.
All because of tags. Yeah. Now when I got here, it was a different story because you meet the world in California. And at that time, it was clubs, it was women, it was all those things. And it was just like,
Yeah.
You
Your
know.
mind was just,
yeah, where I'm going.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't leave.
You
like,
can't.
yeah, they calling you.
It's almost like it was what do they call those things? Not the funnel.
Yeah.
But it was like a
In the kingdom, you say a wrestle within thyself.
come on. you know the warfare that you
Oh,
deal
listen,
with.
yeah, I gave in though.
Come on.
Listen, the warfare was to stay in DC at that time. Like that was the warfare. It was like, because at that time, like I'm worldly and I'm in the clubs, I'm doing this, and I see a whole new environment of women that I've never seen before, of clubs, I
And they
see
own you.
people I see on TV, and I'm just like, it wasn't a challenge in DC, so I found the challenge in California. It was like, okay, like
This
I
where
see
it's
it.
at.
This where it's at.
Because you sound like a man of challenge. You sound like if you cannot compete against this thing, you don't even want it.
Yeah, it's something about the journey that I have always loved, and it's something what I have learned too is when I went to elementary school, I had my sister and I had my cousins there, but even in my neighborhood, I always had people there. And then when I went to junior high school, I didn't know anybody. When I went to high school, I didn't know anybody. When I went to college, I knew one person, and I started realizing the pattern is I'm coming to these places knowing one person, but when I leave, I know the whole school. So coming to California, it was like I knew one person, but now I know everybody.
Come on.
So now it's like going into new atmospheres, going into new levels. I just had to pay attention to the patterns of my behavior or the things I saw in other environments growing up. And I realized that no matter where I go, for some reason I end up knowing everybody. So
now,
it's no reason to be afraid.
So now that you know the whole city, and you're the middleman that stands on business, what is one thing that you learn about people that is a cycle that destroys who they are in this type of industry?
Wow, that's a lack of self-awareness, a lack of accountability, and identity. So if you're coming out here looking for something with nothing to stand on, which we all came through in that process, but if you don't have the boundaries, because for me, like in transparency, I got to a point where I was wanting to start a porn company, a porn production company, because I was being in the clubs, I'm knowing all these porn people.
Right.
And I've never told nobody this. And I know all these porn people, and I went and I was like, I'm gonna start a company. And then I started thinking, like, well, how am I gonna tell this to my mom? How am I gonna show this to my daughter? How am I gonna tell this to my dad? How am I gonna tell this to my sister? So it was just like, it was a thought. It was a fun thought because in the world, but then when you start realizing in reality,
The people that's being affected.
yeah, like people that's gonna hold you accountable. So that's the beautiful thing about being chastised as a child, like getting spankings, getting beatings, because I realized that it was a thing that a line I could not cross. And I was never a porn star. I was never in porn. I was never hanging around them outside of seeing them in the clubs. I was never in their world.
You just knew that there was some way of making money.
That's all it was. But now I have a production company now, but at that time, I'm looking at the things that's around me because I've always been the type of person that, so for you, your joy, if around you, I'm going to adapt your joy into my life. If I see the next person, I see, oh, they get up and they got a schedule, I'm going to adapt that. So I was always the person that mix flavors. So you'll have fruit punch juice and you'll have a little orange juice and you'll mix them in together. I was that child. So I got used to mixing everything. I got used to always being in the middle. I was the too old to hang with the young children in my family, but too young to hang with the older children in my family. So I always was in the middle. So that's how I knew how to work and float on both sides because I had to. I'm the leader over here, but I'm the follower over here. I can beat up everybody over here, but I'm gonna get a beating if I do. I can't beat nobody up here, but you know what I'm saying? So I had to always learn how to just maneuver through everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was.
You know, I can feel that, bro. I can feel you dancing left to right, right to left. It's almost like you doing soca.
Yeah, man, you have to. Yeah, because it was I never had. I was when we always get to this balance thing, right? I never really had real balance in my life. Although my life is balanced, but I just know how I couldn't go too left on the high wire. When they walking, they never just straight. They can't go too far left and they can't go too far right. So I always was going either left or right, but God would always keep me from going too far this way or going too far this way. So it kept me on his path that he had for me because I never knew I would be who I am or where I am today. And although it was a desire, I never knew how I would get there.
So who do you feel like, who was that one person that you stood next to that you work with that you never thought you would have worked with this person and that changed your whole perspective on the power of your relationship and resources?
Ray Lewis, Regina Hall. You got some, like, it's so many people that I guess, like, yeah, I mean, I don't even know anymore. Like, I honestly don't know anymore.
Like you said, you come in with one?
Yeah, you come in, you know so many. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just like being able, like, I respect and honor because there's so many people along the way. Yeah. So it's not that I can just name one person. Right. Like, it's like God has blessed me from my sister. Her first summer job check in Washington, D.C. I don't know how much it was for, but she went and the first thing she brought with her money was brought me a pair of K-Swiss, high top black K-Swiss, black on black.
Your sister.
My sister. So when I saw that, when I saw her do that,
right, like,
that's my sister. She outside running around. But for her to take her first earned money and think about me, it has never left me. And I was maybe 14 years old, 13 years old. So even till this day, it gave me the same emotion that it gave me when I first put them shoes on. Till this day.
Why? So what is it about your sister that is an intricate piece to the K-Swiss? Oh,
yeah, that's my dog. Man, my sister has always been, she was the first person to beat me up. She was the first person to challenge me in every way. Wow. But she was the one that I saw, like, protect me like no other. Protect me like no other. I don't care if you was 6'5". I don't care if you was 2'2".
She going off.
She going off. Nothing. And it was just the thing, and the sweetest, she ain't number like 5'3" herself, 5'4". But like when she moved, she was moving. You know what
it's always them short ones though.
Yeah, because they
be louder.
Hey, listen, they got.
It's like you ever see them little dogs who be barking like they a pit bull.
Yeah.
And you like, you a poodle? What you doing?
Yeah, but she was always so chill, so laid back. Like when my sister can go into any atmosphere, and I learned that about her too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so many different elements. But for whatever reason, because my mom, my dad, my grandmother, my aunts, my uncles, everybody, like, I grew up in a community where we loved each other. Like, we didn't know, like, I never knew we didn't have the money and all that stuff because I never had a reason or a need to assume that I was missing anything. Right? And so for my sister, I knew how, I think I was hearing at that time, her going to work, what it meant for her to get a job, how excited people was. But just the simple fact for her to take her first earned money from going to work and be like, I got my little brother. I never been the same since then. Like,
You know
honestly,
what though? That helps you to recognize that there is so much value in you that she saw.
I'm grateful.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because for you to still remember that pivotal piece or
Yeah.
moment in your life and still use that to reflect in this moment,
Yeah.
that means she is the the motivation
Absolutely.
behind why you serve other people
Yeah.
at their best, even though you know they're
Yeah.
not at their best.
Absolutely.
So moving to LA and being in LA and coming from a well-connected family, how did you survive in a market that would eat people alive that were here individually?
I was always genuine. I never had no bad intentions with nobody. I never liked seeing anybody hurt. I don't want to see nobody hurt. Although I had my faults, my shortcomings. Like I say, my thing was clubs and women.
We all do.
You know what I'm saying?
There's one thing Paul talks about in Scripture.
Yeah.
We all have a thorn.
Yeah.
To the day that you die.
Yep.
As long as you're in this body,
Yep.
this flesh, as a spiritual being, there is something that we all would struggle with.
Yep.
And the only thing that can save us from those struggles is grace
Yep.
upon grace.
Yep. And it was just gradual. Like I was sharing with Bluetooth before the interview, is I was in the club, and I used to be in the club all the time. Like I can tell you, I can probably show the DJ with a setup at. Like, you know, I was, you know what I'm saying?
You were the man.
I was him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was him. And I remember being in the club one day, and D-Ray, a friend of mine, shout out to D-Ray, at this time, we was just standing, and me and D-Ray weren't necessarily friends at this time, right? Because me and him had a rocky start to our friendship, right? But I love D-Ray. I haven't seen him in a while, but I love D-Ray, right? And so he was talking to a young lady in the club, and I was probably like 3 feet away, and she said, if you're in the club all the time, you ain't got no business. And I'm just like, oh, I'm here all the time. Like I have zero business. Like, I thought this was my business.
She
You
made
know what
you
I'm
think-
saying? But it was that. And then another time I was in the club, and it was like, I'm thinking to myself, like, I know where I'm from. I knew how I grew up. If I know I have all this fun without drinking, like, why are you drinking? Do you have to drink to have fun? And I was like, no. In the midst of party and everything, I'm like, no. And I'm like, I just started drinking cranberry orange juice, but I didn't know that was the Holy Spirit at that time, like intriguing me. Like, you gotta have fun. You have to drink to have fun. And I'm like, I don't, because I'm a fun person.
Right.
And it's like, all right, so I started drinking cranberry orange juice and started having even better time in the club. And then it's like, all right, so now I gotta start thinking about business. And I gotta start thinking about this. So my thing was, I had to now figure out how to see me different, because I'll go somewhere with Ray Lewis, and Ray is passionate. And I'll see, and I'm just like, man, I don't have nothing to talk about like that except the clubs. Like, that's the only thing I can talk about passion was like, yo, tonight we going
in.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so
We
that was,
turn it up.
Yeah, so that was the first version of me in California. So to survive, I just always been surrounded by good people, like people that were, some people I don't talk to, some people were super cool, but I always had a level of protection, and a lot of it was athletes. Like, a lot of them was celebrities. A lot of them, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was, I was exposed to enough things in California to recognize where not to go.
Before we dive in deeper, we got to take a quick commercial break.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I'm telling you, Pierre Johnson, Pierre Johnson, Pierre Johnson. Listen, this is not the last or the first time you're ever going to hear this name. I should have said it the other way. This is not the first or the last time you're going to hear his name. But we got to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into this whole athlete and celebrity conversation of what has really made the middleman stand on business in the midst of the TV and the industry of film. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Listen, I left you earlier on a cliffhanger with this unique middle, the man that stand on business in the TV and film industry, Mr. Pierre Johnson. And I want to continue this conversation because I know you're sitting there and you're like, Ramsey, we need more from this guy. We need to hear more about his relationship within the celebrity arena when it comes to TV and film. So let's continue this conversation, Pierre. Like, You moved to LA. Now, you might well say you got the whole city on your back. You stand on business.
Yeah.
Your relationship goes so deep. I remember, I've always remembered that, it takes a unique person to build certain relationship with some unique individuals because of the level of access that's given to them.
Yes.
How do you manage all of those relationships that you have?
I guess like just being genuine, authentic. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my intention was always to help, to add value. So whether they notice it or not, that still was my heart intention. So I was never there to put them in those situations or trick anybody or anything of that nature. So when it came to celebrities and athletes, it was always cool for me to be around because at the end of the day, like 100%, I was never looking to put nobody in those situations.
Because clearly the value was you created the business.
Yes.
And what was the business about? Like,
the business was like, it was just fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I was raised, us having fun. So when it got to and plus I'm from DC, you know what I'm saying? So like, it wasn't a friend of mine, an ex-girlfriend, she told me, she's like, Pierre, you running around there with them, but you don't even understand they the ones running around with you. And I was like, oh. She's like, yeah, they got the house, the cars, and all that kind of stuff, but you notice who phone keep ringing? You call them, but they calling you. Because I was from D.C. So now being from D.C., and that's how we were raised, like, we never cared if you was a celebrity. You never cared none of that kind of stuff because you're from the city. You're a celebrity in your inner city. So when Jose and when Spider and when Fat Man and when Rayful Edmonds and all them come around, they got all this other kind of stuff, and then you leave out of there, like, this other stuff don't impress me. So now I can see all the celebrities like Billy D. Williams and Hugh Hefner were the only two people that really like, oh, because I watched my grandmother watch them coming up. That Colt 45 commercial, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that was the most intriguing like people that I've ever met here. Other than that, it's like people that I admire, people I respect, highly respect. But it's never thing like I need to go back to my neighborhood and find them celebrities first before I get to you.
That's amazing because exposure allowed you to live with a certain level of humility.
Yes.
And that humility has allowed you to walk through doors easy to where now the things that you do, everybody wants to do it with Pierre Johnson. What is one thing you love about yourself?
My heart. I love my heart. It's scary, but I love my heart. Yeah.
Because vulnerability?
Because it was in it. You know what I'm saying? Like to be a person that really love and a person that really don't want anybody to hurt, a person that really want the best for everybody, like that's a heavy burden to carry.
That is. Because everybody don't deserve.
They don't deserve.
To experience.
They
A
don't.
heart like that. But as believers, we're called to love people.
Yeah.
Even in their mess.
Yeah. But even before you get to the people, when you look at your heart and you realize what God is putting in you, when you realize it is God, and when you realize what's in your heart that is looking to come out and nobody understand it, that is like that's so I've been many years feeling like I was insane or feeling of torment because God gave me such a big vision of what to do that even when I found out what my name meant, it scared me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my name is heavy for me. With Pierre meaning Peter/Rock, with Antonio mean beyond blessed, and Pierre Antonio Johnson is rock beyond blessed, Yahweh has favored. So when I'm thinking of that and I'm in Christ now, it's like, what do I do with this?
Ooh, I caught chills with that.
You know, so now asking God, how do I, when I'm now in my walk and I understand I am talking to God and I am understanding that he did call me, and it's like, okay, this is, because when I'm in the clubs, that's the world heart is different, although I still had the same intention, but now in Christ, understanding like the intentionality of God for my heart is like what do I do with this? Like who do I have to be to let people see the fruit or the seeds of my heart that he's given me? Like, it's scary, it's hard, it's torturous at times, because if I'm sitting there telling you like that I need to start anything and you used to me being in the clubs, or you may not be used to me, like Pierre never really had the money. Pierre wasn't the money guy. Pierre was the one who had all the resources and relationships.
Right.
So like now God is evolving and changing that, but like to be him in a, like, how do I listen to you? So to have a vast vision that people come to you all the time for their vision when it's for them, but when it's your vision and when it's your heart, and it's like, listen, God, I got this. And they like, I don't know, P. Or they'll know, but really know in their heart intent that they not gonna really go with me. So it becomes a burden, and it's heavy when you have to carry something of that magnitude and don't know who to necessarily hold on to, because I personally haven't seen nobody do this what God is doing with me before.
And how do you manage your mental health in the process of everything?
Oh, I love God. And I know God loves me. And I know that with this vision, it's like, you may not see me today, but you will see me. I'm from DC still. So, you know what I'm saying?
I know
like,
that one.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you may not see me today, but you will see me.
Right.
And that's just the comfort. And then understand, like, it's in God's timing. My dad told me, I was 18 years old, and my dad said, we was in my grandmother's house, and I still remember we was downstairs, and he said, son, we Johnsons. We may not blossom early, but when we blossom, oh, do we blossom. So I don't trip, because there's going to be a day that comes to where whatever that next level of blossom look like will blossom.
Now, what projects have you worked on in TV and film?
Right now, we're working on a TV show called Pros and Bows. Pros and Bows, we go into the homes of top athletes, and we prepare their favorite dishes with them and their loved ones. So we have athletes from all around the world. We shot the pilot episode with Darren Waller. We have Ray Lewis. We have Shaq. We have Danny Alves from the Brazilian soccer team. We have Robinson Cano. We have a lot of athletic-driven projects right now, but we also have scripted, non-scripted, because we, what else have I worked on? I worked plenty of short films. So being independent, I did a lot of independent projects.
And I'm proud of you.
Glory to God. Thank you, brother.
Because at the end of the day, it does take more than you
Yes.
to do what you do,
Yes.
right? It's like nobody knows the silent weight that we have to process
Oh, absolutely.
and deal with when we want to believe in something that we see, because we see it.
Yeah.
But it's the part of believing beyond
Yeah.
what we see that allows us to taste and see the goodness
Absolutely.
of what we feel. So I'm
Yeah.
proud of you.
Nah, thank you. I'm
I'm
grateful.
proud of you.
Thank you.
I met your son, Mateo.
Yeah, Mateo, that's
You
my
know,
man.
What's one thing that you love about Mateo, and if there's something you can share to him as he's listening, what would you like to say?
With Mateo, I'm grateful that I get to nourish and witness experience. I get to pour into, I get to sow, I get to do everything into his heart. And I get to bring out the best of him. I get to teach him who God is early. I get to show him what love is. I get to show him how to be social. I get to show him how to be a man. I get to show him how to brush his teeth, how to brush his hair, how to put his shoes on, how to be respectful, how to talk to people in the elevator when you get in the elevator, how to say thank you, like I get to do everything, how to play sports, how to introduce sports. Like I get to do everything with him that I desire for my dad to do with me, plus, and also the things that I know that I would love for him to see. So selfishly, God has given me such a wonderful gift and such an amazing son. I have a daughter too that's 23, and they both are so amazing, and I get to like see with them the things that my parents have seen with me.
And what do you appreciate most about your daughter?
Her heart. That's what I'm saying. Like when you see them, my children have different moms, but their eyes are the same, and all our eyes are connected. So all my children are seers. All my children have prophetic gifts. All of them have this genuineness in their eyes when you see them, right? Like they have these loving eyes.
They're Johnson.
They're Johnson. Yeah. So it's the creativity. Like
Yeah.
I watched my son when he was 6 months, and it was the basketball court, and I was putting it together, and I'm just sitting there not paying attention, and I turned around and I was recording it, had the camera going. So I was just sitting there putting the toy together, and I'm like, all right, Mateo, take a shot. But I didn't realize he was back there shooting the whole time I was putting it together, made 35 shots because the camera was on.
Right.
And when I told him to shoot, it was like, Daddy, I'm tired now, it's time for halftime. You know what I'm saying? Like, so him just figuring the things out and automatically getting it. Like, athletic, super cool. If he walk in this room, like he'll be cool with everybody. He go to school, the principal, the janitor, the teachers, the students, everybody. Quick story, I was picking him up from school, and he played with his other little, he was in kindergarten last year, 5 years old, and they around playing. And I'm like, just letting him play with his little friend, Julian. And some bigger children start calling him like, Mateo, and they like fifth, sixth graders. So I'm like, Mateo, you know them? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just daddy mode. Like, I ain't trying to,
Right.
I ain't no tough cookie, none of that kind. I'm not a chump, but
Right.
I don't provoke nothing, right? But this time, I'm like, cause we in school, I know how bully stuff, all of. So I'm like,
Right.
Mateo, like, you know them? And he turned around and he's like, oh, what's up? What's up? And I'm just like, and when I was young, sixth graders ain't rock with us.
Right.
They ain't, you know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
real.
and I'm talking about from the teachers, the principals, everybody who walk in school, high five, like, he's different.
Yes.
But I also am grateful because with that, we have a nonprofit organization, and my son has been going downtown feeding the homeless since he was 6 months. So he go to business meetings with me. Like, if my son can't go, I can't go. And I'm talking about, I can say, I don't care what we talking about. Like, if it's a thing, you saying it's $2 million for a movie or saying this, like, if he can't be here, I can't be here. Because I'm not here for the money. I've never had multi-million dollars before in my life. So why would I, you know what I'm saying? I pray to ask God for all of it. The money, my son, so the right money will also accept my son in the way that I show up authentically.
That's amazing. Now, let me ask you a question as we end the show, because, man, Pierre, you have so much within you. You're a library filled with wisdom.
I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful that, yeah, I'm grateful, man.
What would you like to say to a younger version of Mateo looking in that mirror? What words of inspiration could you share? Some words of motivating. Just look
To a
into
younger
that mirror.
Mateo?
To a younger version of Mateo. Look right into
When he
the
was
camera.
3? Because
When
he's
he
6
was
now.
3, when he was 6, when he turns 18,
Yeah,
when he turns
absolutely.
35.
No, absolutely.
What word would
Yeah.
you like to share?
No, for my son, Mateo is invaluable. He is, and Morgan as well. They are invaluable in the creativity, the honesty, the royalty that they are. Like, I love for my children to understand their bloodline, because I'm understanding the bloodline now, and I'm able to share with them now that they're royalty, and we come from a royal bloodline. And relearning myself, 47, but at 46, I realized who my grandmothers were. My grandma Peggy and my grandma B, who the foundation is named after, is the Peggy Beatrice Foundation. We feed the homeless in downtown Skid Row. And Grandma Peggy was the entertainment person that I didn't know. So I thought entertainment was unique to me. Right. And for being from DC, we had the Black Broadway. Pearl Bailey introduced the Black Broadway. She coined that phrase, the Black Broadway. So when we grew up there, we were surviving while that generation thrived. We survived, so they didn't teach us anything about it, right? So now my grandma Peggy, Duke Ellington, Ella Fitzgerald, Satchel Paige, Langston Hughes, she was married to Bull Moose Jackson, the famous saxophone player. All these people used to be at her house. Etta James. So my uncle used to say, yo, Uncle Etta James, like Auntie Etta. My dad, the Five Heartbeats, when they fight on stage, my dad was actually there at the Howard Theater where it actually took place in real life. He was on the side of the stage looking at this fight take place. So I didn't know that my family was so drenched in entertainment. Although I've been here 20 years in the entertainment industry, they still didn't share it.
Wow.
Grandma and Peggy.
You're talking about an enriched moment.
Yes. My father is the founder of Johnson Products. My Uncle George, who's still living today, 93 years old, he started Johnson Products. He was the one that saw a little dance show in Chicago and had this hair care product, because it's the first black Native American like us product on American Stock Exchange. It's a hair company called Bantu Precise Ultra Sheen. If you ever seen Soul Train always had this hair product that they was marketing. My Uncle George is the one who funded Soul Train, hired Don Cornelius, because so now he has the Soul Train. So that's my dad, uncle, and father who had that company. Grandma B was on the community side. She was the one always feeding the people. That's why I grew up in a house with 30 people at Grandma's house, and all these things above Grandma's house, because back then we had more community and more tribe amongst each other. So now as I got older and I started appreciating it and recognizing like, oh, this is all centered in Christ, then it's like, because of Jesus, because of David, because of Isaiah, because of all the way down to everybody, to me, to you, to us in this room, it's like, oh, we're from a royal bloodline.
That genealogy is deep.
Yeah. So a royal priesthood. So now being okay to stand firmly on the ground and just say, I am that I am, right, and be okay with it. and wanting my children, Mateo and Morgan, to know that they are official no matter what. Nobody can do. Nobody can take away them being official because they just are. So letting them know that they are a royal bloodline, a royal priesthood, and they have been chosen before they got here. So I understand from my limited perspective, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you, because I prayed and asked God for a son before I even touched this mother. So I knew you before I got here. I didn't pray with my daughter mom, because that was just, I was 23. Like, I was just,
we be reckless.
like,
we know.
yeah, listen, at that time, I'm just like, I'm glad she picked up this phone.
Right.
Listen, I was looking for this one. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So it was different prayers, and I'm glad they both got the same heart, but it was different intentions. Like,
But
you know what I'm saying?
what, though? It shows that you've evolved into an impeccable young man.
I'm grateful. Thank you.
You know, even though you 46.
47 now.
47, brother, you 25 to me.
Hey, I receive it.
You know.
I receive it. We gotta just let these knees know that. So I love to go out there and hoop a little bit. Like, nah.
Trust me, I'm 36,
Yeah.
and I can't go out there and hoop.
Hey.
My stomach go to the left, my body go to the right. So, yo, what motivational word could you share with somebody right now?
Oh man, just be you. Like, motivational. All right, let me stop myself. Let me say? Motivation. I would say, enjoy the journey. The things that are happening to you are not because of you. It's because of what God has for you. If you've been molested, if you've been homeless, if you have whatever that experience or whatever that trauma is, when you allow Christ to have it, he'll end up sending you back in that same environment to be the face to change it. So don't deny your power. Don't be afraid to be who you are. Don't be afraid to let people and things go that don't serve you. And yeah, just allow yourself to enjoy the journey, because when you get there, you can't go back over the journey anymore. So just learn as much as you can, learn and grow and be a good person. Like, be a impactful person to situations that make the world better.
That's all I can say. It's what he just said. Listen, enjoy the journey. Don't rush.
Don't rush.
Don't feel like you gotta be somewhere at a certain time. Know that what's for you is for you. And if you heard Pierre's story, that lets you know. Listen, if a friend is bringing you out of your comfort zone, take the chance and see what's on the other side of the world. Because you ain't doing nothing where you are anyway. So why not change the scene and seeing what life has offered, what life has to offer for you? Because you never know. Your destination of meeting God is you stepping out of that place of being comfortable. This is Ramses Rizard on The Reflection Show. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, your experience matters.
Is what you see on The Reflection Show.